What's in front of South Carolina football in 2023? I think there's a little bit more than what meets the eye, so I want to make sure that we unpack this. The other day, Coach Beamer and the South Carolina social media team produced another banger. As always, they put up a scene from The Office where Michael Scott's running against the speedometer that's out in front of the office, and then Shane Beamer reenacted it with his team. It was awesome. Anyway, it just speaks even further to the fact that I am looking for any more eligibility I could ever potentially have, and if I had some, I would go to South Carolina tomorrow. Like, that's the kind of coach that Shane Beamer is. But on the field, I think they have a tremendous opportunity. And this is probably the most obvious point of this whole thing. Shane Beamer has got Juice Wells, the receiver who absolutely had a year last year, especially against Tennessee and especially against Clemson. I mean, he's still making plays today against those teams. And Spencer Rattler, who really turned it on towards the end of last year. They're both coming back. So that lethal combination, they're coming back. Reason for excitement. On top of that, like I was just speaking to a second ago, the culture in Columbia, South Carolina is white hot. And culture is a funny thing to talk about because everyone has one, but it's tough to really define. Like, you can't look at the stat sheet and define culture. You kind of can, but not really. You can't really turn on the tape and define culture. Culture is what's happening internally behind closed doors. And it's the reason, I wholeheartedly believe this, it is the reason why they were able to beat Tennessee and beat Clemson a season ago. I sat in this very chair 2 weeks in a row and picked them to lose to both those teams. And 2 Sundays in a row, I came in with a sheepish grin and was just like, man, I couldn't account for their culture. I couldn't account for the juice that South Carolina was going to bring, and that made the difference. And it's not like they don't have great players. Do not hear me incorrectly. They've got great players. And so they have a chance to surpass expectations yet again in 2023. Because in 2021, there wasn't a ton expected. In 2022, it was like, yeah, that was nice that South Carolina did that, but you know, what are they really? Now in 2023, they're not sneaking up on anybody. You got your quarterback back, got your big playmaker back. There's some pieces now in Columbia on top of the culture to achieve some really exciting things. And I promise you this, Spencer Rattler and Juice Wells, they didn't come back to win 8 games. They came back to make some noise in the SEC and to get some exciting hardware for their operation, for their program. So there's going to be a very real factor in the SEC based on what I'm seeing so far on paper and then what we can take a pulse of from a culture standpoint. So South Carolina fans, man, get excited. Make sure you subscribe to the On3 YouTube channel. We had Coach Beamer on this very show, so go back and watch it if you haven't. But again, make sure you're subscribed here. We talk ball here every single day. We talk Beamer ball our fair share. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, at JD Piquel. We appreciate y'all in advance for that. Great way for us to interact. So that's what they have in 2023. And that's kind of when you zoom in on the program, that's what they have in front of them. Let's take a step back. Let's sort of survey the landscape here for South Carolina. Because outside of the on-the-field opportunity, guess what else they have in front of them at least? The intention of the entire country. I said it a second ago, they kind of snuck up on some people, but especially towards the end of the year last year, a lot of people now are taking notice of what's happening in Columbia, South Carolina. And you don't believe me? Go ahead and look at what they did in the 2023 recruiting class. Top 20 class landed a 5-star Nicholas Harbor on national television. South Carolina is routinely now putting the nation on notice. And that's great to create buzz and excitement around your program. That was probably already in place after they won those final 2 games of the regular season. 2 top 10 teams, again, back-to-back, teaching them a thing or two. But where that really counts, I think, is the recruiting trail. Now recruits are starting to say, okay, you know what? I could maybe see myself over there in Columbia. Coach Beamer, man, he seems like a fun guy to play for. They're thinking exactly what I'm thinking, man. I would want to go play for him. I'd go run through a wall for that dude, for the way that he cares about his team, the way that he carries himself with his heart on his sleeve on the sideline in post-game press conferences. I'll go play for that guy. Heck yeah. We're already seeing it happen in the 2024 cycle. At the time of us recording this, they got a top 10 class in 2024. Now, you know, don't get it twisted. 2024 on the recruiting trail is very far from finished. They have single-digit commits right now. I mean, we won't have a bow on this thing until February of, I guess, 2024. So don't hear me incorrectly. There's still a long way to go. But if you're South Carolina, if you're a South Carolina fan, if you're internally at South Carolina, what do you see? Whole lot of runway. They're not worried about dropping back. They're thinking about pressing this thing forward. Because now people, I believe, are starting to look for a reason to go play for Coach Beamer. They're looking for a reason to go to South Carolina. The recruiting rankings at least reflect that in 2024. Nicholas Harbor, his commitment reflects that. People want to go be a part of what they're building. And if they were to do it again on the field in 2023, I think South Carolina's a powder keg, man. I really do. And if they were to have success yet again on the field in 2023, if they were to even surpass what they did last year in 2023, I think that would be the match that could light it and set the whole thing off and just get that snowball effect rolling down there in Columbia. And the thing that I love when I go and take a closer look at this program and when I read the message boards and when I read the great things going on over at South Carolina, they don't feel like they've arrived yet. I mean, think about that. They just beat 2 top 10 teams in back-to-back weeks, landed a 5-star on the recruiting trail. They got a top 10 class. Again, right now, at the time of us recording this, they don't feel like they've arrived. They feel like they've got a lot of room to get better. And you love that you taste success, and it does 2 things to people. You taste success, and you get full. You say, wow, that was good. Might sit down on the couch here for a little bit and kind of enjoy that, reminisce, soak it in a little bit. Or you say, wow, that was phenomenal. I need more of that. I need more where that came from. And I believe Shane Beamer and his operation and his program, I believe they are leaning towards the latter. It's a dangerous thing for the rest of college football. I'm telling you, it is a good time to be a Gamecock fan. Man, I hope and I pray that we are able to get to a game at Willie B in 2023. Not solidify what we're doing yet this fall, but if we were to hit the road, I think Willie B would be pretty high on the priority list for yours truly. Make sure you're locked in here. Make sure you're subscribed. We appreciate y'all, man. Gamecock fans, y'all been rocking with us here for a minute. And if you haven't yet subscribed and joined the party, no time like the present. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. I want to hear from y'all. Get at me in the DMs. Stay wide open like Juice Wells. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.